Here we are. We're back for another man in the van, but I'm not in the van. Logistical nightmare, few issues. I won't bore you with them. You don't need to know about them. You know what they do say, don't they? Oh no, I might not say that because I'll be sexist if I say that. But there's a joke about tires and female anatomy, but I won't. That's enough. Or else I get in trouble. Got to be all PC these days, isn't you? So anyway, I'm doing this final man in the van of this series, episode 18, as you can see, who I've got coming on. So we'll bring him up on screen in a minute. This will be the final man in the van for 2020. Got loads of stuff lined up for next year. So we're going to be signing off with episode 18, and we'll be back in the new year with loads more man in the vans. Well, we'll actually be back sat in a van. And we've got some new sponsors of the show coming on board as well. So I'm excited about that. As you can be, and been so busy, I haven't bothered shaving. And I've got a degree of gingerness about me, which the next bloke coming on has also got. Before we get to that, just to mention from our sponsors from this year, Relaxtorace Arm Pump CBD oil. Good stuff. Rub it all on your arms. Anywhere else, it takes your fancy. It works. Depends what result you want, I suppose. If you want to make things floppy, it works. And of course, to the guys at where am I? FXR. Thanks to those guys, and we'll be wrapping up this series with a little competition where you can win some swag from FXR and the guys, and some of this from Relaxtorace. Right, let's get him on then. He's sat there with his Christmas decks all in the background. Let's catch up with. Well, I've known him for a long time. He's been part of Team Green. It's been good to catch up with this clown. He won't mind me saying that. Bring it on, Mr. Dylan Woodcock. There he is, checking his messages.
Yeah.
Oh, Nipper.
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Very nice tree. Now, don't be honest, because you're grown up now, so you got to be honest.
Some would say I'm a grown up. It depends who you speak.
Well, you are. How old are you now?
20. I'm 21 in February.
Getting on, Mush. I see you've got a bit of ginger beard action going on as well.
Yeah, try shape it up a little bit.
Make the most of it. It soon turns white. Be honest. Who put that tree up? Did you decorate that? You didn't do that. No way did you do that.
I'm a Scrooge. I don't. To be fair, this is the closest I've been to Christmas in England in about 4 years. I'm normally in my camper in America. I've got no Christmas decorations. Got like a tree that big, and I just put it on the side, and that's about it.
It's not a bad thing to go away at Christmas.
No,
in America. Let's start there actually, and then sort of work backwards. So yeah, the last few years or whatever, you've been you've been out there. You've obviously you went to America as a young kid on a Cobra. Well, let's start there. Not start about your riding career, but start. So you actually went to America quite early on and raced. Where did you race? You raced for Cobra, but where didn't you?
It kind of all started right when I was younger, and it used to be Future West. When I can't remember, like Stephen Clark and like Brad Anderson and all them type of guys racing, and a few like buddies in Essex had a Supercross track, and I just started riding, and I thought, cool. I used to hit the skate park all the time, be down there all day long, jumping jumps on BMX. And my dad was like, "Oh, you fancy racing Supercross?" I was like, "Yeah, come on then, let's go race." So I ended up racing. And they used to give away like prizes and stuff. And the 85 class had I think there was like a few guys in like Ben Watson and guys like that were racing it. They would win like van shoes sponsorship and stuff like that. And the 50 class had a sponsorship with like Cobra. So if you won the 50 championship, you win like a year as like a factory 65 rider with Cobra. No one really knew what Cobra was. I think the kid that I was racing at the time was on a Cobra. And then I ended up winning it. And then they'd never give me the Cobra. So I was like, So I was waiting. I was promised all these things. So anyway, I went and bought KTM. I only had KTM 50s. And my dad was so like wanting to be different with everything. You know how Lenny is. He's like,
he's different. Yeah. I'll give you that. He's different.
Yeah, he's different. But like, he wanted to be so different. Like as soon as we got the KTM, it was white. Didn't want it to be orange because he didn't want to be the same as everyone else. So it was white. And then, so anyway, we bought KTM and it didn't come and all that type of stuff. And I was upset because I was promised all these things. And so anyway, there was a bit of confusion. So then I got the Cobra and rode it. And then that was like when the Pro Nationals were around, obviously the Red Bull Pro Nationals, and I was racing. And then I wanted to go to Minios. So I was obviously sponsored by Cobra. Now I had the Cobra, I was racing Cobra. And there was like a little squad, like a bit like Team Green. And they only do 50s and 65s. And then we're still like trying to pursue this like little Supercross thing. And my dad was like, oh, I'm kind of bored of racing in England, because I was like, I wasn't winning, but like I was like second, third winning, like doing here and there, like racing like little Harry Kimber. Me and him were rivals. Like it was us two were the guys to race when we were younger. So anyway, we ran Cobra just out the blue and said, oh, can I come to Minios? And I was like, yeah, come over, fly over. So I was like, got there. Dad had a hire car. I had no clue what was going on. We'd never been to America. It's the first time. We got there, and my dad was like, right, this is it. You're going to have to go all ham. Like, this is your time to do it. If you're going to come over here, no one knows who you are. You got to do it. So I was like, oh, okay. Didn't know there wasn't Instagram or stuff like that. Like, kids like have it now. So I didn't know nothing. Like, it wasn't like, it was just before that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we got there, and I was teammates with Chase Sexton in America. Like, there was like, obviously they have age classes, right? So he was like, I don't know, 10 to 11, and I was like 8 to 7. So I didn't know he was obviously a little bit older than me.
7 to 8. I know what you meant.
Yeah. So I'm there, like I'm just all happy and that to be there. And some guy comes over and goes, "Oh, here's some free kit." Never really got free kit before. So I'm all like, oh, "Free kit? This is naughty, isn't it?" Like, got a bit of free kit. I was feeling the man in this big truck. All these people come in. Went and done practice and stuff like that. It's racing Cobras, and it was good fun. I was teammates with Chase. Like, I didn't know no kids there, so obviously when you're a kid, all you want to do is run around in this massive venue, get lost, got no cell phone or anything like that. Like, you're running around. So I was like just doing the thing, and then raced there, and then got the opportunity to go back there a few times, and then just kind of spiraled out of control from there, really.
You say spiral out of control because obviously straight away then. You hadn't been riding very long, but you took to it pretty well. Obviously, straight in. So how long was it really from riding the bike for the first time, which I think, what was your first PW on it? 50? No?
Yeah.
First bike?
My dad had bikes and stuff like that, but if my dad's like, he's a stuntman, like he would take things for a few minutes and then go do something else, and he would and then he got me a bike, and I just really took to it. I had a Pee-wee, and then like everyone starts off with a Pee-wee or a 150 or whatever it is, and then it just kind of all kicked off from there.
Just to fill people in that don't know Dylan, he's not messing about when he says his dad is a stuntman. That's not a figure of speech. That's fact.
Yeah.
Lenny is a stuntman, and obviously loves adrenaline.
Yeah, but like
he jumps out of a plane. He jumps out of a plane for recreation.
Yeah, he does it for just a laugh. Just a laugh.
So obviously, so you took to it pretty well. So how soon was it after riding that you started sort of doing well in the UK? Then you obviously got a bug for racing straight away, did you?
Yeah. Like my dad was like just starting off in the stunt business, so he didn't have like a lot of money. He'd bought a house. He'd just come out of the Navy, was doing his stunts and stuff, and we was like just every normal person when they get into bikes, setting up the tent, doing the whole fire thing. It goes. Yeah. We just started riding, and then there was a track down the road, and there was like a mini like Honda, like 110's a thing now, right? There was like Honda 50s was the thing like then, like 10 years ago or whatever. And there was a track down the road called Action Park, where my dad ended up having a shop and all that kind of carry on. And then they had this pit bike track, and it was like BMX jumps, like it was like this. And I remember like there was me and a kid from my area that used to race, and he was on your team back in the day, Sid Evans. And then he was like we had long hair, BMX, like we loved it. So, and then it just kind of started riding around on this little track, and then kind of that's where I got like all my Supercross skills from, was BMXing and riding this pit bike track. And then it all kind of got the bug, won a few races, and my dad was like, "Oh, right." And then I ended up winning.
So basically, you were straight in then, doing that side of the sport, more sort of Supercross, arena cross style thing, right from the get go. Sort of jumps and all that technical stuff was your thing.
Yeah. Well, like, thinking back to it now, I've never really not been on a team. Like I've never not ridden for someone. Do you know what I mean? It's never just been like me and my dad doing it. Well, there was a time when like before I rode for yourself, like just after I got off Cobras, I rode for a team called rabbit racing, and I was meant to ride a Cobra 65 in the European Championship, and then ride an 85 because I was a Kawasaki dealer, and then obviously met you guys and Ross Burridge, and then it kind of, that deal was coming to an end, and then I just jumped on that, and then yeah.
But, you know, yeah, and that obviously worked out great for us as much as it did for you. But you know, there was always a feeling from that age when we started with you, which I think was 2013, wasn't it? I think we started Team Green, and you was one of the first people on the team founding.
Yeah, I think it was like 2000.
Well, no, let me rephrase that. Team Green had been around a long time, Alec Wright and everything before but basically we kind of rejuvenated it and give it a little bit of a reform in the way of thinking in 2013, and that's when, you know, you signed up and joined the team.
Yeah,
and we went straight into arena cross with good effect, obviously, because we kind of knew that you'd be good at that, as it proved.
Yeah, I was still doing. I think I was still doing the rabbit racing thing. I think that was like part of it. Like it was the old bike, because we knew you. I don't know what happened, but like it was the old bike. So we was waiting for you guys. Told us there was a new bike coming, so we was like, oh great, this is going to be pucker. We got a year of just learning, and then the new bike come, and then I was still doing the thing with rabbit, and then. Yeah, that's how it all kind of started. Still with the Supercross type thing.
Yeah, you know, but then even from starting working together then and working with yourself and your dad, it was always obvious that the dream was to, you know, a lot of people, they have aspirations obviously to get to the top. Still a lot of riders and kids and stuff in the UK look towards GPs and a motocross career, because obviously that's an easier route for them. Yeah. Your ambition was always, and you made no secret of it to us as a young kid, but then sometimes you got to listen to the parent as a team manager because the kid's just enthusiastic. But obviously it was always yours and Lenny's dream to end up, you know, racing in America, and lo and behold,
that's the dream. Like every kid grows up watching Supercross. Like when you go to an event, it's Supercross, and it's lights, it's like lights, camera, action. It's a show, and I'm not a shy kid. Like, you know, when I was young, I used to get like Christian Stevens used to call my name and stuff. Like, I'm not a shy person. Like, I love all of the lights, the whole show. You know what I mean? I love it, and I just, don't get me wrong. Everyone tries the motocross thing, right? Because it's part of it. That's how everyone starts. It's the motocross thing, and won a lot when I was younger and all that type of stuff. But just never I was winning, but I was never quite getting that, like the championships. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was winning the races and stuff like that, but always things would happen. And just,
you won a few. You won a couple.
Yeah, I won a few little things, but like, do you know what I mean? It's not 85. So everyone forgets that. It's all about kind of now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
I mean, obviously, and then you had your fair share of injuries. So, you know, the motocross thing, you pursued it, pushed on to, you know, and had a look at the whole EMX thing.
Yeah.
Then you were coming of age a bit more, finding yourself as your own identity and your own person. And I think, you know, both you and Lenny wouldn't mind me saying this, coming up, you know, and as you got a bit older, there was always going to be like a clash of personalities to a degree as you were finding your way. And I mean that in the most nice and sincere way.
Everyone knows me and my old man, like we're so similar from when we was younger. So my dad joined the Navy when he was younger, and my granddad didn't give him the opportunities that Lenny obviously give me, but Lenny gave me the opportunities, but he's obviously working. So I was always around other people, you know what I mean? Like I was staying with you for so many years. I was like under your wing, and then when I was with Revo, I was just it was just me and my good friend Jamie Muscat. We was just kind of not winging it, wouldn't say winging it, but like we was turning up to these races, and Revo would take the bikes, and then we'd just turn up, and it would just be me and Jamie. Jamie was 20, I was 18 at the time, and we was just like, right, best we just try it. Like we used to get to the airports at the races and stuff and not even be able to hire cars because we was just too young. Do you know what I mean? Like we was too young to even hire cars at the airport to get to the race. So we was like calling like people like Mel and Graham Owen, like, oh, can we jump in your car? Like, I'll give you €50 or something. But like that's just how it was. That's how it was. And you get to a point in the whole like motocross thing. You see it in the UK, right? All these people, they spend the money. Like my dad spent the money on the bikes and jumping from, like, say we was with Team Green. Obviously, Team Green, you get to a certain stage where you come up from the youth, and then they can't they can't take you that step, because obviously it's a youth team. They have other steps, but if you're not making cutting the mustard, you don't get that next step, right? And that's just
no, it's all about. But obviously, as you get towards the sharp end, as you well know, particularly in 250 class, it starts to get bloody expensive.
It's hefty. You end up spending thousands of pounds on bikes. Your kids blowing them up left, right, and Chelsea because the English weather's like it's like underwater in the winter, trashing bikes. You know how it is.
I sure do. Yeah,
I know all about that. Like, and my dad wasn't around, you know. So when I was younger, he was working to try and pay for what I was doing. So I just kind of had to figure it out for myself. Which some people thought I was like cocky and stuff like that, but like I had no choice. I'd either ask for stuff or I wouldn't get it. And that
but
was.
Do you think, you know, now having lived through that and seeing the transition, you know, and having to sort of do it yourself, because I always kind of thought, okay, you know, you were brought up that way, to stand up, be tall, be confident. Lenny taught you to go out and just, like I said, be confident, speak to people. That sometimes got construed as being arrogant and cocky, which I never believed it was. It's just the way you were brought up to just be, you know.
Most kids get their dads to speak to yourself, or like other teams. They go, oh yeah, but I kind of had to just do it myself. Like I remember writing, like I left school when I was young because I obviously had the opportunity. You know, when you even come to my school, I think, didn't you? Like I
believe it or not, I actually helped write a letter that got you out of school, and I even came to your school to meet your teachers about it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. My dad wasn't around, so he can't just have a day off because he's on films for months at a time. Months. You can't just go, oh, I'm sick, can't come in today, because this like a piece of the puzzle. You know what I mean? You can't just do that on films and movies and stuff like that. So yeah, you come to the school, and I had the opportunity to go race Monster Cup, and obviously I'm not going to miss that. Who else has been to the Monster Cup on a Super Mini from England? No one's done it. And I remember you said something to me about it, and I was like, Dad, this has got to happen. Like, and he was like, well, you got to figure it out. You got to send the emails. Remember sending an email to Aaron Nixon, or it's all sorts of spelling mistakes, and me putting "and" in every other sentence, and I might come here, but he was like, I think people like it though, because like I wasn't shy, you know, like I was just asking. Like, and they thought, cool, we give this kid a chance to come. Should
have stayed at school. You could have got your email written out better without as many typos. Catch me. I'm joking about that, of course.
Yeah.
No, I remember all that, and so you know, and I knew it was a big opportunity. So let's actually go straight to that then. Great thing that you've mentioned there. You know, we managed to pull something together to get you into the Monster Cup. Now, I was with you for that whole experience. Like you said, your dad was on a film. I think he might have even been on those early Star Wars films.
I think he was because he we obviously he was because we was doing it on our own then, wasn't it? Because I didn't obviously I've got a great relationship with Mickey from California Motocross Holidays. He's like my American dad, as if now. Because we turned up. I remember we flew there, right? Because my dad couldn't come, and we had to go there. Because I'd never rode a Supercross track in my life, not a proper one. So Dad bought a bike at Pro Circuit. Mitch gave us a little bit of a deal, and there was a few British people there, wasn't there? So we got quite a cool deal. Anyway, we went there and done that, and we was there. And I remember it was just me and you in La Quinta Hotel in Temecula, and we had the bike in the back of the van, and I knew as much mechanics as you did. So
I know how to change an air filter.
Yeah, we were changing air filters, tighten a few nipples on the spoke. That was about it.
Easy.
We just crack on with it. We was just going to the tracks, paying our $65 and arguing pretty much, weren't we? Because I'd get to the track. You got these Carson Mumfords and all the rest of them. They're like born bred Supercross riders, you know, like they're jumping these triples, and I'm like, I remember looking at you at Milestone and thinking, that's my first day, and I've just doubled my way around the track, and I'm rolling the triple. I've not doubled it yet. And you're like, yeah, you've got it. It's flat out, and I'm standing there like, I'm like, nah, do you think we should go ride a bit more motocross? And then you was like, yeah, come in. We just went on the motocross track. Because I was so nervous, you know, like I'd never jumped a triple. Like nowadays, if I was to jump a triple, it's 65 foot. It's the same. Like once you've jumped one triple and you've raced, you know how it goes. That's why all the guys jump it first lap. But I didn't know. I was on 85, and it was a super mini. And on them super minis, you got to be like screaming it for it to not be bogging. And I was still trying to get used to it. Oh, and I think we was at where was we? Lake Elsinore.
Elsinore was the breakthrough moment. Elsinore was the moment. I'll let
you
explain.
Elsinore, but prior to that, we'd had a bit of a thing with my dad, and my dad was like, "You just need to ride." So we went to Star West, and Mickey was there, wasn't he? And we was there, and Mickey. I remember, I think it was me or you went over to Mickey and said, like, asked him for something, and he was like, "Oh, you English?" And I was like, "Yeah." You come over speaking, "Oh yeah, this and that. Oh, maybe we'll give you like an easy up or something, wasn't it, or something like that?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'd appreciate that. Like, if you give us an easy up, we just got nothing. We're just gonna go park in the Monster Cup car park and just put a stand out, and that was it. And then Mickey gave us that thing, obviously, and then he was with Ed, wasn't he, at the time? I think.
Yeah. Him and Ed Warren.
Mickey and Ed were at that track that day, weren't they? And then I was obviously a bit nervous and agitated. And you said, "Dylan, you got to jump this triple, mate. Otherwise, there's no point in going," and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, "I'm not going." I remember shutting the door, crying in the van. And then I ended up coming out, and Mickey was like, "Oh, maybe you could jump it." And so Ed and Mickey and you were there, and all kind of like. And I remember just hitting this triple flat out, hitting it full speed like this, like just locked on, thinking, "Oh my god!" And I think I overjumped it by about 10 foot.
You did overjump. Yeah, you did.
I think I overjumped it by about 10 foot.
Yeah, you flat landed it.
But I just remember just that feeling. You know, if it was a tabletop, I'd have just jumped it.
Well, if you remember, that's what we ended up saying, and that was the turning point.
Yeah.
We remember being sat in the front of the cab with you. We had the music on, and I said you were close to tears because you were getting frustrated or whatever. And that's when we calmed you down, and then we went out and we looked at it from the side and said, "Look, I remember all three of us were there.
Yeah,
me, Ed, and Mickey, and said to you, look, we took you over, didn't we, about 20, 30 yards to the side of it, and said, look, don't tell us if that wasn't filled in and that was a tabletop, you'd pop that first lap."
You know, anyone would, but like I was just, you can't see the landing.
No, it's terrifying. I grant you that. I was
like 13 years old, never jumped a triple in my life, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I've just got these two guys here that are like, I think like I'd never met them. They're like, I never knew them prior to that, so I'm like, they're like, I've got to do that. So that's like, they're like watching it now. So I've got to kind of do it.
We overcome that, you know, and you were buzzing after that. Then we got moving a bit, didn't we, for a week or so, and you started to then get up to speed and went back to Milestone, and you coped with everything good there.
Yeah.
And you were looking and feeling pretty confident. You know, it was an exciting time, for you, like you said, the first British rider, at least we can seem to think of, that ever did the super mini.
There was the other kid. I can't remember, but there was some Swiss kid or something now. I don't know.
Yeah. Kimi Silvestri, whatever his name was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, but you were feeling good at that point, so we all, you know, we cruised up, did the 4.5 hour, 5 hour trek up through the desert to Las Vegas, which was an amazing experience in itself for you. First time there as well. I think you were quite taken back by all that, to be honest. And we still got the video. In fact, you know what? Talking about this, I might post up the edit on Dirt Hub after this so people can see.
That was crazy. Like I'd never been to America, and if you ask any kid in the paddock, they are watching videos of people in California on them flat tracks going balls to the wall, having a good time, whipping, and it was anyone's dream, right, to go there and do that. And I'm there in Las Vegas, got my first sprayed Monster helmet, I think it was, and I was like, I was feeling the man, you know, like this Monster helmet with a British flag on the back. I was like, oh yeah, I'm loving it. And then I remember we was I think they was doing the best whip, wasn't they, off the triple? On the track.
Yeah.
The triple was like mesh. The triple was just not even mud; it was mesh. I remember walking to the top, and I stood there, and there was some other kid on the top there. I can't remember his name, and he was like talking to his mechanic. Yeah, it's just third gear. Come round here, bro. And I was like, all right, mate. I was thinking no one's going to jump it, and he was like, and I remember just coming round, doubling, and it was like a split section, doubling it. This kid just comes over, whips it. He's like sideways off this jump. I'm like, I've got to jump that next lap. And then I think my dad's even got it still now on the video.
Dad has got it on film.
Yeah.
Because he's filming it, and then obviously as you hit it, Lenny ends up shitting himself, and the
Oh,
camera goes all shaky.
Yeah, he's got the
And
camera, and I think he was stood next to like I can't remember who stood next to him, but the geezer's like shouts as I'm jumping it. So I've jumped it, and he's like gone like that because I'm like gonna over jump it by like 25 foot, and the guy's like, oh, that's an OJ, and I'm like, I've jumped it, and I'm thinking like I'm just got all the jumps down, just racing, and I think I was like, I had 2 top 10s, and then I end up breaking my collarbone, didn't I? I hit the tough block that come on the track when that kid crashed, and then, but yeah, that's where it all kind of started, I guess, with the whole Supercross thing, and then just kind of went from there.
Well, when we just still carrying on about that, so you know, you were carrying a bit more confidence coming into it because we had that solid week after you got your head around the triple jumps and all that kind of stuff. But you know, what was you then, 14? You know, when did it start to bite? When did reality bite, as if to say, you know, shit, I'm doing the Monster Cup? Because I remember you were all cool and we was having a good time. We was all relaxed. Then we went out and did the track walk, and I remember, like you said, stood on top of the triple.
Yeah.
And then Chad Reed come up next to you.
Yeah.
And you were like, you had that whole kind of like,
yeah, but that was the thing. That was the thing, right? Because when we was in where did we go? Because obviously Team Green was the Monster thing, and I was in there with Monster a little bit. What was it?
Genk. Oh, we went on. Yeah,
Genk. We went to Genk. We went to Genk, and we met. I met Ricky Carmichael, didn't I? And then there was all like the thing. And I remember he was doing this photo shoot, wasn't he? Where he was whipping the bike, and I thought, cool, I'm gonna go pull up alongside him. And then there's that photo of me and Ricky like whipping like this, and he's like looking at me, and I was so tense because I was trying to throw the biggest whip I've ever done, because I thought this is my only shot. And he's obviously like my hero growing up, so I'm like broke upright like this, and he's like looking at me, and I remember him like speaking to me with Jeff Emick, and he was like, oh, I remember you, like, and I'm stood with all these like Ricky Carmichael, all these legends with you, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, isn't it? Like, I've got Ricky Carmichael remembers who I am, Jeff Emick knows who I am, like remembers me, and I'm like, cool, I'm feeling. And then I was a bit more relaxed, you know, like, and then I remember sitting there, and I was sitting there pretty calm, like I was just chilling, and then the commentator does like it's time for Supercross, and I remember this guy just locking up, like I was thinking, oh my god. And then
I'm laughing. I shouldn't do, but I'm laughing because I can remember that moment. How literally a switch went on. You went from being, and then that's why I asked to see if you remembered it when we was on.
If anyone knows me, I'm chatting like when we go Supercross now in Germany. I'm joking, I'm laughing in the pits, and just being like, just trying to be a funny guy,
being you basically, which is what you
being myself. Like, I'm a chatty person. I have a good time. I don't have no like beef with no riders, you know what I mean? I'm just chatting to everyone, and then I was full mute mode. I weren't speaking to no one. I couldn't believe it. I think you asked me some questions, and I was like, and I think I can't remember who it was, but someone like smacked me on the bum, like as if to say like good luck, and I was like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah.
Like, who the hell was that?
Because when you went round on that parade lap with all the fireworks and stuff going off at the start, like you came back in, and your eyes were like just what I've never seen them so wide. They were just just
all these people, and they're screaming, and they're going mental. There's like 80,000 people, and you're this 14-year-old kid all the way from Essex. You live in Leon C. No one really rides bikes from here, really. Like, everyone's just kind of like party boys and whatever. And I'm this kid in America. Like, I've left all my mates at home from school. I've only just spoke to my mates from school since I've got like 18, 19. They thought I was a ghost. I've just left. So they don't know. They only follow me on Instagram and stuff like that. And then I'm there with all these thousands of people, and they're like screaming, shouting, and I'm like on this parade lap, like Ricky Carmichael and that, like next to me, and Chad Reed. And it's hard, you know, because my dad flew out there, and I was just there with you. So you're like kind of the closest I've got to saying like, Jeff, I'm crapping myself. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it was an amazing experience, you know, for me too, to see a young kid go through that process and to try and soak in how you were feeling as well.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it was cool. It was kind of rewarding in that sense, that knowing that for me on a personal level, that I was there literally seeing a young kid's dreams unfold in front of his very eyes. So it was cool. So that obviously gave you the impetus to want to go back. And like you said, you then tried pushing on to try and earn a crust out of it, a living racing in the UK and Europe. But you and your personality and everything with your technique and your skill and your skill set, like you said, more geared towards arena cross and supercross, soon realized after 2 or 3 years of pursuing that EMX2 thing that it's just not for you.
I think I've done it for I'd say one full year with Revo, because when I was riding for Team Green, I dipped in and out of it, but I was young, you know, but there was like no age limit. So I'm racing guys that are like 35 years old. I'm just a 16-year-old kid. I've got no man strength. I'm like getting pushed around, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing with it, with like the whole like motocross scene. There's these, like, the older generation are still trying to earn their money, right? There's nothing against that, but like they're getting their money, and like these little kids are come through, but none of these older guys that are like veterans in the classes are going to want this little 16-year-old ginger kid to be rubbing up next to them, like got all this stuff, and they don't want them to come nick their opportunity or get one, so they're going to push you around, right? That's where I got so like aggressive, because I was like this young little kid getting pushed around on supercross tracks by like Yanis and like all these people, and like I'm getting pushed around. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to show them that I'm gonna like gotta get back at them type thing, because otherwise you just get pushed around in supercross, you know. And that's how it all like kind of started. And then obviously I raced a few EMXs, didn't qualify for when I was with Team Green. I think I qualified for one. That was when when we went to France. And then with Riva, I think I done 8 and I qualified for 6 and I missed out on 3. Like, but it wasn't say it was rough. Like Mark and Sam, they took me on. Do you know what I mean? I was asking them to take me on, and they just went, we'll try to help you the best we can. And I just brought my own bikes. They gave me some free kit, helped me out with what they got, whatever they bought, I bought, and I just run their graphics. And I was lucky enough for them to take my bike on the truck, because that's the thing. You think you're traveling to Italy one week, you're going to Spain the next. That's like 3,000 miles worth of traveling, hotels, petrol. My dad's not there, so my dad's got to pay for someone else to take me. And then there's the mechanic, then there's me, and then it's madness. It's mad when you think about it. When these kids go around the world and they drive and it's mad. It's mad money.
But what was a contributing factor for you then? Not just that, but did you then start to, as you grew up and wised up about it, think a young man got, understanding then the value of money a bit more?
Yeah.
Because obviously, you didn't really have a concept of that when you were younger. And like I said, it's not, nobody's blaming you. Your dad wanted you to do that. Yeah. So, and that's why I think a lot of people maybe had a bit of the green-eyed monster, thought you were a young cocky kid getting treated to all this stuff. But you didn't, you never asked your dad to do that. That was your dad's decision.
I never.
As you then get a bit older, you start to get out in the world and earn money for yourself.
Yeah.
Was that a contributing factor then, that you started to look at the effort going in, and then you were looking at the end reward and saying, hold on a minute, what am I getting out of this? I'm not even earning, I'm paying, and I'm not even earning any prize money or getting paid.
No. And then you end up getting girlfriends, and you do this like the party thing and all that type of stuff. And what are you going to do, because you have no money? Like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to go, hey, like, Dad, I'm going out the weekend. Can I have like £100? And he's like, what for? I'm going to go party this weekend. I'm just going to go blow all your money. Is that all right? He's like, well, no, you got to be training. And I'm like, well, I want to be a kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how you got to look at it, right? Because when you grow up and you do all these things and you race, it takes a bigger person for you to say like, oh, you're not going to cut the mustard. You're not going to cut the mustard, because obviously everyone can ride bikes to a certain level. But when you know your dad's just going to keep spending that money, and there's going to be no reward, because there is no reward really. GPs, you don't earn no money. British Championship, you earn quite, it's all right, but unless you're a top guy, you're not really earning money. You got to have a day job, and it's hard to be a top guy. And everyone's trying to be top guys, so none of them guys in the middle are really doing the day job thing, and it's difficult.
Yeah,
that's just the reality of it. And I just kind of thought, you know what, I'm going to try to do this Supercross thing, and then because my dad always wanted me to be a stuntman, and I was like, nah, I'm going to be a racer. Nah, I don't need to do stunts, and I regret it so much. My dad says, "Told you so." I wish when I was 18, 16, I was doing the gymnastics, the rock climbing, and doing all them things, because when you get a bit older and you stop racing, or no one's going to fund it for you. Like my dad my dad tries not to fund it, because obviously with the whole Supercross thing, you can earn good money out of it. Like you can earn your money in England racing Supercross, and Germany and all them things. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute, but like it's like you kind of got to fend for yourself, email these people, get your private sponsors up, and that's how you kind of do it.
Yeah. So that, with that in mind, then, so you've basically said, look, this is where you're at. You're knocking, sort of, you'll do the occasional motocross event for a bit of fun, like you come and did our Rocket till Sundown event or whatever.
Yeah, like that was my first, I think. So when I finished with Revo, right, I finished with Revo, and my dad were like, right, what's happening? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on? We've done a year, like we've earned nothing. The beginning of the year, right, went to Red Sands, and Mark and them guys paid for me to stay in the hotel and that, and I was so grateful for that. And then I was riding around, like I was doing pretty good. And then I went to the first race at Cullen, and it was muddy. I think the track was like 10 foot underwater. It was like the bottom half of it, you know. And I turned up, and I think I qualified 4th, and I was like, oh, this is my time to like do it. End up going out in the race, crashing my brains out. Next race, thinking, oh, that was just a one-off. And then it was just like you hit that like mental wall, you know, like, oh, it's just, you're never going to get past it until you start doing something else to get your mind off racing, you know what I mean? Because like you see it all the time, these kids, like they go racing and that, and they're just going through the motions, you know, like they're just hitting that wall. But if they was to have like a bit of fun or something, maybe they would ride better. And then come and race that Rocket till Sundown race with you. I just literally rocked up on my dad. My dad had a Husqvarna. He bought one. I didn't even have a bike. I just pulled it out. I was working with my mate Harry Noakes because the whole COVID thing, and I couldn't train for the stunts. So we went and done a half day at work. I was on the odd for him, carrying the bricks around and that. And I was like, Harry, can we have half a day off work? He's like, yeah, cool, let's go. Me and Harry just went up there, was just laughing and joking, got there, pulled the bike out, rode, and honestly, I don't even think I was much lower than when I used to do all the things. Like I think I was 4th overall.
Yeah,
and
you were.
I was racing with the same guys that when I was racing with when I was on Revo. Like, and I was had the sickest time ever. Me and Harry, Dad had a few beers, he was there. Harry had a few beers, I had a few beers. We was just having a laugh. Do you know what I mean? It was like going back in time for that first race when I'd done on my 50, when it was fun, you know?
Yeah.
And then that was like the last outdoor race I'd done. So then after Revo, my dad was like, what are we doing? So I was like,
yeah.
I was like, well, this is the time to race Supercross. You're never going to do it or you ain't. So he was like, well, come then.
Yeah, and just focus on that. So basically then, you know, this is how it is. You know, I'll finish the sentence and you can correct me if I got it right or wrong. So you're now just sort of gonna you're gonna do what you got to do to earn a cross. As I know you're training to get all your stunt man certificates and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And do other work, and then basically just try and do. Your plan is to do the AMA Supercross, and then just do. And then are you going to do like just European arena crosses and stuff?
That's exactly it. Because I'm 20 now. I'm not old. I'm not young. Do you know what I mean? There's age limits on Germany and stuff like that. But like most Supercross is difficult, you know, and like you can only do so much Supercross till you get a certain age and all that type of stuff. And I'm just going to try and race that until as long as I can. But the whole motocross thing and that, it's just too expensive. And it's so much of your life to even think about doing another, I'd say growing up. Let's say growing up. Because that is the reality of it, right? You've got to grow up and earn your wage and get girlfriends and stuff. You've got
to have fun being a teenager.
Definitely. Do your holidays and all that type of stuff. Like, I'm just going to try to do the work like I have been. I've worked the whole way through lockdown pretty much with Harry, saved all my money, and then I've literally changed it all up at the airport the other day where I got denied. And then had all my cash on me, and that was me. I've got all my cash. My dad's paid for like the flight, and that's me. I've got my own money. I've got a few private sponsors, and that pays for that because it's literally 2 races of 6 races. So you go to the event, it's 2 weeks at a time because of the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how it goes. But like,
so as you sit here, explain to people then, so your plan for 2020, You just said you got denied at the airport, so we'll get onto that in a minute. But your plan for 2021 is, you're going to go out there and you're going to do what? The West Coast,
the West Coast Supercross, and then I'm back on the Kawasaki because why not? I like it, and everyone. And do you know what? So many people say to me, "You don't look right when you ride another bike." Because I've rode Kawasaki for like nearly.
Wow, it was a long time.
Nearly 8 years. I've rode a Kawasaki for nearly 8 years, and I rode that Yamaha. But like, I bought them 2 Yamahas off the IB Corps team because I didn't. I needed 2 bikes at the time, and then I had them bikes, and then I just wasn't. They were like 2018s, and I was still riding them, in the hours. So I just sold them, and I managed to get a Kawasaki, and then went to the airport yesterday, and then I have a visa. I have a B1, B2 visa, so it's like a sports business visa, But I didn't know you had to have a letter from the government, because I've rung the government millions of times. My dad's rung the government, like we've been emailing. British Airways told me, yeah, you can go. So I'm like, cool. So I've turned up with my 2 bags with all my life in it. I've got all this cash on me. I'm going to the airport. Give them my passport. They're like, yeah, you're not valid to fly. So I'm like, right. So I'm like, who's to tell me no before though? So I'm being like calm, like I'm not trying to cause a ruckus, because you know how them people can be. And I'm obviously annoyed because I've spent all summer all with Harry and then trying to do stunts and just earning money, because I haven't really rode. I rode once at your event. Went to Yamaha for Dirt Hub. Rode there with I think I rode every session. I was so excited to ride. I just rode every session on the bike. And they was like, "Are you finished?" So I was like, "Oh, I'll do one more." Done one more on their bike. Went and rode the new Kawasaki at Apex, and that's been it. Like, I've been working and doing all them things, saving all the money. So it's a heartbreak, Like, I'm gonna go spend my hard-earned money on myself, because you only get one shot to do these types of things when you're young. I don't want to grow up and be like, "Oh, I missed out on going doing that because I was a bit of tight with my money," So that was that. And then they denied me. So I got this guy come over to me, and he's like, "You need this, and that." So I'm like, right. So I'm like, and what am I going to do? Can I do this here, or what do I do? Because you're the first person to tell me no. So I don't know no different. Do you know what I mean? So
as it stands, then today is the 15th of December as we're recording this. Yeah. So you got rejected yesterday, the 14th. So what's happening now? Are you on the phone to the embassy? You're obviously still hoping to get out there before Christmas, are you?
Yeah, that's the plan. If I can't go before Christmas, there's no point in me going, because I don't want to go there and not be prepared. I don't want to not ride, because it's easy to ride in California. The weather's like beautiful. The tracks are within 30 minutes, so you can ride every day. That's not a problem. Don't forget how to ride. Like, done it a few years ago, where I just rocked up at Supercross races with my kit bag and just rode, and you just got to keep it fun, I guess. I've just got to do that thing. And so hopefully I've emailed the people, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I get a letter within the next 72 hours, and then I can be in California with my American dad and American mum, Mickey and Megan.
So, which would be cool. So listen, how many rounds? I haven't looked, and I'm not going to bother looking. I'm just going to ask you, how many rounds are there then? As in races?
There's 8 rounds, so I plan to do 6. I've worked it out that I have enough money to do 6 out of my own money with hotels and that type of stuff, because I don't want to. And if I end up doing well and I make the main events, I'm going to make more money so I can stay for longer. So that's down to me. That's down to me to figure that out for myself and make that happen.
Yeah. Because obviously they're, unlike what we're talking about with GPs or EMX in particular, as well as GPs, if you make the grade, you get money in return. So I should imagine, how does that work? Do you obviously make money from making it into the night program? Is that where you get?
It's kind of the same. Yeah, it's kind of the same. Wherever you go with Supercross, just because it's a show, it's a show. It's the lights, and you make money as you go, and it's however money. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's not a lot. It depends where you are, the fines and all that type of stuff. I could go there and not even earn no money, but I'd rather earn no money and make a Supercross main event to say that I've done it, because that's all I want to do. I want to make a main event and just say, look, I've done it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to.
I kind of. You don't need a mechanic, do you? I've improved my skills since then. I can I can pump up tires now.
They don't come
I'm
cheap.
really
They don't come cheap, and my wallet's squeaky. So
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I could still come out and be your mechanic. You didn't have any major. Actually, no, you did. Didn't the spokes came loose that first time we rode that new bike?
yeah,
But
but like,
you know, that we learn from those experiences.
yeah,
I wish I was coming out there with you, chap. It sounds like
yeah.
fun. We could relive the year of, what was it, 2014? We did the Monster Cup. I think that's when it was.
Something like that. It
Or
was
15,
fun.
something like
But
that.
that's the plan anyway. But just to race them races and stuff like that. I think I've got one more year in the German Supercross with File, and then I rode for them. So when I was, what is it? So that year after Revo, I keep going off track every time I speak about it because it's so the stories go on and on and on, don't they? Like you can do this podcast for hours. But after I left where we Revo and I split, and then I went and done the Yamaha thing. I'd done a few races, and then I was like, I wasn't going to race outdoors in England because I didn't have no bikes or nothing. All my stuff was there, so I was like, I'm going to go back and race. Went back and raced, and ended up having this freak accident where I didn't know, but someone had like watered the track on this like tiniest bit. Like you know the hoses in America, like the riders, that's their job. Like throughout the day, if you go to one of them tracks, just to like hose the track. Like everyone kind of speaks to each other and says like, let's have 10 minutes and we'll water the track and let it dry out, and so it does. And this guy had like put the hose, but he had like, it was at Parlour, and the guy put the hose on the track and it was leaking. So I just thought the track was dry. Come round, hit the triple, and just kind of snaked off the triple and just like cased it. But like my toes were like that, you know, and my leg just went boom, and I felt my ACL just go out, and I was like, oh my God, I've broke something. And I'm laying on the floor, and Mickey's come over to me and he's like, you're right. And I'm like, mate, this ain't good. We need to get out of here now because this is going to be bad. And he's like, what's the matter? I was like, my knees like bent up like this, and I'm like, get me out of here. So this kid called Dare, he's called Dare.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dare, his name is. I can't remember. I know his second name, but it's gone out of my head. He's a good friend of mine now, right? It's mad. I'll tell you how I met him and how it went on. So he's like this kid, and I'm battling with him every weekend in Supercross LCQs and all this crap. And he comes up to me and he's like, "You're right, mate. You're right." And I'm like, "Mate, pick me up." I'm like, "Pick me up with Mickey, and I need to go now." So Mickey's like throwing all the crap in the back of the van. We're going to the hospital, and I snapped my ACL and MCL, so I had it fixed. And then I seen Austin Faulkner in there; he's getting his one fixed too. So I ended up getting my knee fixed, and it was like ACL's like a 6-month job, right? So I'm like, I'm done with bikes by then. I'm like, well, I've not cut the mustard. I'm like finished. So I go do the party and the festivals, and end up rowing with my dad because I'm partying and all this crap. And then I got a phone call from this guy that I've raced for him previously in Germany. He's like, "Do you want to race?" And I'm like, yeah, why not? It's like, come then. And he was like, yeah, cool. We'll fly you here, fly you there. And I'm like, all right, sweet. So this is another team before File. This guy called Harry, he's a super great guy. And File called me up and said, how old are you? And I'm like, who's this? And they're like, it's Tobas, the team manager of File. And I'm 19. And he's like, right. He's like, do you want to ride for us? And I'm like, I've just told this guy I'm going to ride for him, but I can't miss up because File's like the king team in Germany, you know. So I'm like, he's not happy with me, and I'm like, mate, I'm sorry, like, I'll pay whatever it is. And he's like, no, you got to do what you got to do. So I'm like, cool. Never rode. I haven't rode in 6 months. Literally, I think I rode once on someone else's bike at Wealdon or something like that with my mate Alfie and Scooter, and we went down there and rode. And then I turned up at this race in Shindle, and I'm like, kind of like still like being this happy guy, like not really caring about it, like just going there for the crack type thing. I've turned up, not ridden, didn't make no main events, and I'm like, shit, crap, this ain't good. I'm on this big team, all these people are trying to be on this team. I'm like, this ain't good. So I'm like, I'm crapping myself for the next weekend. Go to get my start money off the team, and they're like, we're not going to pay you. So I'm like, that's fair enough. Don't pay me. Like, I didn't make the main events, you know, so I didn't get paid. So we go to the next race, and my dad's obviously running me up. You need to crank on, get these jumps sorted down. You need to figure it out. I'm like, Dad, I'm doing the best I can do, you know how Lenny is. So anyway, we went to Germany. I'm flying to these races just on my own, just doing my thing with my suitcase. And I get to Germany, and the team are like, right, you've got like this is your last shot to figure it out. So I'm like, I'm walking around with my headphones in, trying to figure it all out. There's this triple on the track, and it's like, I think I put a video of it on my Instagram. The triple's like wall to wall, and the jumps are like that, right? So I sent a picture to my dad. My dad's like, "Do not jump that. Do not jump that. No one's gonna jump that." And I'm thinking, like, someone's told me not to jump it, so I'm gonna jump it. And then I've seen this kid do it in the press day, and come round, and I've just hopped this triple, and I'm like feeling good, and had a pretty good like weekend and that. I think I come 5th, and I had a DNF where I crashed with some other rider, and then that happened, and then end up coming back the next weekend. Like Germany, anyone that's been to Germany, they'll tell you about an after party story, like the party. Everyone rents out the thing, right? So I've gone there. I've had a good weekend. I've had a party. You know, I've kind of got my old self back. I'm being that funny guy. You know, turn up at the next race, and I get on the podium. And I'm like on the podium, and we're in Germany, right? We're in this, I don't know where it was. I think it was Chemnitz. I'm on the podium. I haven't got on the podium, bearing in mind, in about 4 years. So I'm third on the podium, right? I'm like revving the bike. All my mates are there, and I'm like spraying the champagne. And they called my name out, right? And they go, "Oh, Dylan Woodcock on the podium, Dylan." And the whole crowd's like, I'm like, what? I'm on the podium. I'm all like pumped up and that. All my mates, like, I think my mate Scooter was there, like screaming. He's like, "Yeah," and all the crowd are like that. There's this part in Germany where I don't think they're like, they're not very, I don't know how you say it, but like they're just clapping and they're just like,
yeah.
And I'm all pumped up and that, and just started spraying the champagne on everyone, and everyone's booing me, and it was nuts. It was crazy, and then that was that, and then we had a massive. The parties are crazy there. Me and Scooter had a good time, and Ashley Greedy was with us, and then yeah, that's the thing I like about it. You know, like I'm that guy where I'm just having a good time, and it's with that Supercross, everyone is there to like kind of. It's not like the whole motocross scene. Like it's fun. It's like you go there and everyone's smiling, everyone's having a laugh. Like it's not. I wouldn't say serious because obviously you see the pros like. All them riders, they're serious, but like them privateer type guys, they're having a good time, you know, like it's fun. That's why I like it so much.
It seems to, yeah. So it seems to me like, you know, you've worked out for you, and everybody's different. You've worked out at quite an early age what you want to get out of the sport.
Yeah.
Be it motocross or let's just call the sport of dirt bike riding, is actually not necessarily the success, but you really want to embrace the moment and make the memories and look back on it and not have any regrets that way. It sounds like you say it all, like.
Yeah, you gotta make memories, right? Like you've told me some memories with you and like Mark Eastwood and all them guys. Like I was like, I remember being young and seeing Eastwood, and I didn't even know who you was until I like met. But you're telling me all these stories and that, like them memories you keep with you forever. So when you're in the moment, you're in the parties, you've done well, like you're gonna go mad, right? Like it's anyone's gonna do it, and then everyone has them Germany stories and like all that type of stuff. So like, and it's crazy. I end up finishing third. I didn't even ride, right? So no practice. I literally just raced. End up finishing third in the championship and having a good time. And like it's like everyone's like having a beer after the race. And I said, is it possible for me to come back next year? Like I really enjoyed it. Like, can I come back? And they're like, yeah, you can come back. Like you're a good person on the team to make it fun and stuff. Like, because you know what I'm like, I don't shut up. Like I'm joking. All these like. I think Tyler Bowles and that, and there was like my mate Julian Lebeau, he's French, and like we're always in the after parties and stuff together, like having a good time, and we were in there laughing and joking, like throwing crap at each other, and like there's people in there like these other French guys that are all serious, like trying to get us kicked out of the tent, and we're just having a good time. But like when you're having fun, I feel like anyway, when I'm having a good time, I ride like the best. And it's the same for everyone. Like when you've got a smile on your face and you've got good people around you and you're having the crack and all that type of stuff, you're gonna have a laugh, right? And you're gonna get the results. So
I'm glad to hear that you took some of that advice on board, because I remember saying that to you a few times.
Yeah.
What's your, obviously your short-term plan is to race Supercross and try and race Supercross, AMA Supercross every year, fill in the gaps throughout the year by doing one-off events like European Supercrosses or arena crosses or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
What any other plans in the pipeline? Obviously, we've got you involved with Dirt Hub now anyway. You're going to be doing our bike testing going forward with all the new models and stuff.
Might have something planned.
Have you? Okay. All right. See. All right. So you're working. What would that be like? What's that? Because obviously you can't. What is that? More of a summer project then? I
Yeah,
guess it must be.
it's a summer project that like because you think how many people race bikes now? It's the same write ups, right? I'm not digging no one out, but like it's the same write ups you see after every race.
Yeah.
Fifth seconds, and I've done this and that.
Yeah.
And that. People like the funny videos of people laughing and joking. Like YouTube's a big thing now, right? And people are laughing and joking and doing all them things. So yeah, I've got a little project hopefully for the summer.
You're gonna go. Are you gonna go a bit Axel Hodges on us, are you?
No, this is no. I wouldn't say nothing like that because they're their own people, you know. Buttery, them people, Buttery, and they're making like that. Buttery films. I know him. He's like me and my mate Alfie Collett. We've been to like one of his parties and stuff, and we've had like we know him. You know what I mean? He's a cool guy, but he just rides, and because he's got that like I wouldn't say people hate him, but like he's got that like attitude of like he's just having a good time. People love that. People love that attitude, and that's all I want to do is just have a good time and ride bikes if I can.
You're only denying yourself if you do. That's what's quite refreshing about to see how the young man you've turned into, knowing you as a kid, is you've actually stayed true to your values, and you're not trying to be something you're not.
No, I'm my own person. Like if someone could say I'm trying to be someone else, I'm just my own person. I do what I want. Do you know what I mean? I'm just gonna do whatever I want. If I want to do this, I'm gonna do that. Like I've got a few sponsors that sponsor me, and they have done because I've kept in contact with them because I sorted it out when I was younger. Like I've written the emails at your house, and you've had to correct them for hours. Like I've just stayed in contact with everyone. I don't even race motocross, but I've still got like quite cool little sponsors that help me out, and wearing like 7 kit now. But Mickey's sorting that. But I just emailed them people, like just figured it out for myself and little companies like that. So yeah, do a little thing in the summer of a few different varieties, not all riding motocross and supercross. No. So there'll be a few different things, and might even go hit some freestyle ramps or do something.
Really, I look forward to seeing that, and obviously working out what that's going to be.
Yeah.
Probably get involved with you in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, because you're going to be doing a few bits and pieces for us at Dirt Hub, which is cool, and that's great. The simple fact. But as I said, getting you involved with doing the bike testing, you've raced enough at high level now to give feedback on bikes. We did a lot of test riding.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like when you turn up to these races in Europe and that, you're just rocking up. Like you could just turn up and go, yeah, Dylan, you've been dropped from this team, but this team want to ride for you. Like people know, like you'd like the Jack Brunels and all them type of people. Like they just rock up, and some people take their own bike, some people don't, and you've just got to figure it out. Like sometimes you have to just get on with it and test. Or some people know how to do it, and some people don't. But if you're that shy guy that's not going to speak up about it, you don't get what you want. So that's why that's why I'm the person that I am, because I've just had to say like I don't like this, and they're like, right, what do you want us to do about it? I'm like, oh. Gonna have to change it.
Well, that's the way that you've been speak your mind and get out there and not be shy and whatever. And that's how you've been brought up. Lenny installed that into you quite early on. So it sounds like, well, look, first and foremost, you've got to somehow sort out these flights and get to America then. So hopefully you'll get on a flight before Christmas, and we'll see you doing the AMA Supercross. And I'm sure a load of Brits will be supporting you from this side of the Atlantic if you get there.
I hope so.
Yeah. So that's cool. So what we're going to do, I haven't thought about this much because obviously I always come on to these things underprepared, but that's part of the fun of it. So I said we're obviously doing Relaxtorace, our sponsor of Man in the Van, as is FX. I always do that wrong. It's so messes your brain. FXR. So what we're going to do is we're going to give away 5 lots of Relaxtorace and 5 FXR. I think we've got some lanyards kicking around, so we'll do some FXR lanyards as well. But we got to set a competition question, Dealbot, and I haven't thought of one. So have you got anything that springs to mind that we can ask about yourself, or shall I just randomly on the spot make up a question? What, you got a question you can ask people to answer?
I have, but I can't say it on here.
All right, let's do it. So you've got to recap what was being said in this interview. Then that's the best way. I think
something like that. I don't know.
To win, some Relaxtorace arm pump and an FXR lanyard. So when you watch this video, you can just obviously comment on Facebook below with your question, with your answer, and we'll randomly pick out some winners. This is the question to win this Relaxtorace arm pump and FXR lanyard. At what track did Dylan Woodcock lay down a fat whip with Ricky Carmichael? Now, he mentioned that earlier on. He mentioned that earlier on in the interview. So if you didn't, you have to rewind and make sure you were listening. So there you go. That's the question to win some of this. Hold there, Dylan. Before you come up as well, I just want to mention you're an advocate of this. You've worn Bell for a lot of your lifetime. Just bring that up. There you go. Basically, as you can see there, Bell are still doing this trade up to Bell. You can get 20% off your old Bell helmet by taking it into one of their dealers and trading it in for a new Bell, and you'll get 20% off. I've got one of Dylan Woodcock's crash helmets I could trade in, get myself 20% off, but I'm not going to do that.
It's probably battered.
It is absolutely battered. Yep, I'll give you that. But it's also, you know, a bit of motocross nostalgia and memories of your time on Team Green, so which was good times. And it sounds like we're going to be getting together and working more on Dirt Hub now. So it's all tickety boo.
Like a little. Just, I don't want to ever like lose the love for bikes, because I love bikes. You know what I mean? Like every time I've ridden and rode, like whatever you want to call it, like when I've been on the bike, I always love to whip and do all them things. Like people, like I've got loads of photos of me doing whips and stuff like mid race, because that's how that's why I love like bikes and stuff like that. But like you got to keep it fun, right? And got a little brand. I've got my own little brand now with my mate, like this little More Sugar thing, and obviously going to do the Dirt Hub. So yeah.
You do like laying it down. I remember one time when you laid a big whip down on that massive, it was like a double or a big tabletop double thing at Cullum that year. And Lenny didn't take too kindly when you laid it over on the 85 on the first lap when you went and did it.
Yeah. I remember. I don't know who put the jump or whatever, but it was massive, wasn't it? It was a joke. How big it was. And I remember all these kids were standing on top of there, and this kid's dad, and I was obviously being cocky little kid that I was. I'm gonna jump this. And I think he went, "If you jump it at first lap, I'll give you 50 quid." I was like, "All right, deal." Shook his hand. This kid's dad. And I went back to the truck. I went, "Dad, this geezer just told me if I whip this jump first lap, he'll give me 50 quid." He goes, "If you do that, Dylan, we're going home." I said, "What?" He's like, "We're going home." I was like, "Well, how do you know I'm gonna like mess up?" "You're going home." I was like, "All right." So I'm like this. I went out with my mates, like I was just bombing around with my friends and that. And then I think I rolled out last, and I see my dad, and he was like pointing at me as if to say, like, "Do not jump this jump. You're gonna crash your brains out." And I remember just coming round, didn't even go around the ruts, and I just went, "Bah." No one else to jump to 85. I just went on this massive whip. I did absolutely, and I thought, "Oh my god, I'm gonna crash." And I didn't even crash. I just rode it out. And I come back to the van. I think I qualified second or something like that. My dad was like, "If you ever do something like that again, we're going home." He started putting the bikes in the back of the van, and I'm like, "Well, I'd made it, didn't I?" The geezer come over to the van and just give me 50 quid, and I think I have to give half it to my dad for being such a little dick.
Oh, see, but that's what we need. Some characters like that. Yeah, the good old times. Well, look, I'll leave you to it. Hopefully you'll be calling you got an email or call the embassy now or the AMA. What are you doing now? You just got to sort this flight out.
Phone has been going off. So
all right. Well, look, I'll leave you to it. Hopefully next time we hear from you, you're stateside at CMH at California Motocross Holidays with Mickey and getting prepared to race AMA Supercross. Let us know how it goes, chap.
Yeah, I will do. Thanks for having me on the show.
That's all right. No worries. Obviously, we're going to be doing, as we said, a lot more with you through Dirt Hub anyway. So I'm excited about that. I'll get out and have a few tear ups with you as well. Still show you how to whip because clearly, you know, you learned everything off of me. And we can take it from there. Right. Press on. And I'll see you in the new year. So there you go. Thanks for your time, Dylan. Anybody want to thank quickly before I turf you off the screen?
My old man for giving me all this bloody money to do what I've done.
Yeah.
Mickey, CMH, and just all the new sponsors that help me, like Seven and Bell and all them types of people. Lee Lifting, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, cool.
Me, myself, and I got more sugar. Got some clothes and that coming out soon, so watch out for that.
Nice. Well, Mush,
Harry.
keep doing what you do. Keep being true to yourself, which I know you will be. And as I said, we'll have a lot of fun in 2021, I'm sure.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
All right, mate. All the best with that flight. Get it sorted. We'll speak to you soon.
See ya. Bye.
See ya. Right, there you go. That was Dylan Woodcock talking about his career to date. Again, apologies, I'm not in a van. I'm actually doing Man in the Van in a car. But as I said, we will be coming back in 2021 in the van and doing far more of these. Hopefully I'll actually be able to get out to venues and physically get the guests back into the van. Thanks for all your support and kind words throughout series 2 this year, 2020. We've managed to get a fair few episodes done by doing it over via internet. And as I said, just thanks for the support in general to Dirt Hub and the whole Man in the Van series. Everybody have a great Christmas and New Year. Really make the most of it. It's been a pretty crap year, as we all know, for socializing. So make sure you have a fantastic Christmas, and we'll be back with more Man in the Vans in 2021. Up until Christmas and over Christmas, I am going to be doing another couple of Dirty Talk live shows, which will go out on Monday on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for them. We'll be actually coming at you next Monday with the next Dirty Talk live show, where hopefully it looks like I'm going to have Gareth Hockey on talking all about British Motocross Championship, what he's done with that and the format, and maybe a little bit more info about Western Beach Race if he's got any. And hopefully going to probably have a team manager on as well to talk about it. Also join us on Monday with Dirty Talk, which will be going out about 8 p.m. on our Facebook channel and YouTube channel. Right, that's it. I'm going to go and have a coffee and chill out. Take care, everybody. We will see you soon.